Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have for you my August week 2 reading vlog. Sunday, August 4th, and I'm kicking off this vlog. So if you saw the ending of my last vlog, I am currently in the middle of a lot of books. So really quick, I just want to do a quick summary of all the books that I'm currently reading. First one is The Lives of Locke Lamora. This is like my most active book right now. Really enjoying it so far. This is the only one that I've actually made any progress on since the last vlog. Mind you, the last vlog ended yesterday, so like I am now on page 531, and there's a good chance I might finish it today because I have the audiobook and I don't feel like switching to another audiobook, so I have a lot of time for audiobooks today. So there's a good chance that I might finish this today. I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it. So far, it's really good. One thing I will say about this one is if you are not like an advanced fantasy reader or anything like that, I don't recommend getting the audiobook for this one because it switches back and forth between present day and the past, and it's sometimes hard to figure out which one you're in if you're not paying full attention to it. So definitely recommend reading this one physically, but the audiobook is still really good and I'm really enjoying it. The next book that I'm currently reading is Gardens of the Moon by Erikson. This one I'm going really slow with, so don't expect too many updates on this one. I'm currently on chapter 5, so not very far into it. I don't expect to get very far into it this week. I do like about 2 or so chapters a week. So far I'm really enjoying this one. It has a very interesting world, and I feel like the world just intrigues me, and they don't give a whole lot of information about the world, but I actually really like that because I can glean the information myself, and it's been really good so far. My current reread is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This won the poll for you guys to vote for which reread that I would do this month. So The Night Circus won, and I'm almost done with the reread. I'm right there, close to the end. So over the course of the next couple of days, I'll probably end up finishing this one. I am listening to this one on audio, but I will be putting up the review on this one because I said I would do a review on this one as well. I will be doing that probably next week, so look forward. Well, by the time this video comes out, it'll be the same week the review is gonna go up. So really excited for this one. I love it so much, and every time I read this book, I love it even more this time around than the last time around. So really enjoying this one too. Okay, now for the ones that I'm not as far into. The first one is An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I'm only like 100 and something pages into this one. 138 pages into this one. I started this one, I think it was yesterday. Really don't like the audiobook for this one. I explained that in the last vlog. Don't like the audiobook, so I'm switching to the physical book, and hopefully I'll like the physical book better. I do like the content of the book, it just was the audiobook narrator that I didn't like. This one is moving a little faster for me too, so I'm going to be reading this one a little bit slower than I typically would, just because the actual plot of the book is moving faster than I would like, which is kind of weird. Usually I like fast-paced plots, but for this one, it's just not working for me as well as I wanted it to. So still enjoying this one though. And lastly, we have The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli. I started this book like 4 days ago. I haven't made a whole lot of progress on it. I'm like on chapter 2, and I probably will make more progress on it tonight when I get home and I have time for a physical reading. I don't really know very much about this book other than it's about dragon slayers, and our main character has to go slay like the oldest dragon there is, or marry someone she doesn't want to get married to. So definitely an interesting situation, and I'm excited to see how this goes. So yeah, that's a quick summary of all the books that I'm currently in the middle of. Today I shall be spending most of my time with The Lives of Locke Lamora, and hopefully I'll end up really loving it. So far I'm really enjoying it, but I've heard the ending of this one is like really good, so I'm excited to see that. Like really excited for it. So yeah, I have to go, but I may check in with you guys tonight. I might check in with you guys tomorrow. Okay, so it is Sunday night. I ended up finished The Lives of Locke Lamora today. I listened to the whole thing on audio just because I never got a chance to pick up a physical book while I was reading this. The second half of this book is so action-packed. It is so good. I really enjoyed the second half of this book. I thought the first half was a little slow. I understand why it was slow. Like, things that happened in it were necessary, but I really loved the second half of this book. So good. It has the final like climactic scene was so clever, and I really, really enjoyed that. It was really, really well done, and I really, really liked it. So yeah, I can understand why people reread this book often, because I kind of want to reread this book now. I kind of want to reread it physically, even though I've listened to the audiobook already. I might do that. Is it weird to reread a book in the same month that you've read it for the first time? So yeah, that might happen. I'm definitely gonna reread it before I move on to Red Seas Under Red Skies, just because I'm not ready to move on yet. I'm not ready to move on with this series yet. I want to stay in this one a little bit longer. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I ended up giving it 5 stars, obviously. That happened. So yeah, I think I read it too fast, and now I want to read it again, but slower. That's probably what happened. I'm gonna take a little break from it though, because I'm like in the middle of a bunch of other books. If I have time at the end of the month, after I finish the rest of my TBR, I might pick this one back up again to do a reread of it. Or maybe I'll just reread it next month. Mind you, the reason that I want to do a reread is because there's just so much detail, and a lot of it don't really seem to be relevant at the time that you get it. And then something happens later on, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I feel like there's just so much that I missed the first time around that just went like over my head. But now that I know things that happen later on, I'm going to understand it better. So yeah, that's why. But it was really good. So it's Monday, August 5th. This morning, I finished The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I was really close to the end of this one last night, so I just decided to finish it this morning rather than waiting for tonight. It was amazing. I absolutely enjoyed it, of course. This is my 3rd time reading it, and I feel like I got things out of this read that I didn't get out of the first 2 times. Like, there were entire scenes that I didn't even fully remember from the first 2 times that I read this book, and it was so, so good. Really, really enjoyed it. I will be doing a full review for this one coming out soon, probably after this reading vlog sometime, so definitely look out for that. But definitely one of my favorite books of all time. It's just so, so beautiful in the way that it's written and everything, and I'm so excited because Erin Morgenstern is releasing a new novel, The Starless Sea, in November, and I'm super, super excited to read that one as well. So this one is just making me way more excited for that one. As I think I've already mentioned to you guys, I did finish The Lies of Lamora yesterday, so I needed a new audiobook, so I decided to start The Last Wish by Andrej Sapkowski. This is like introducing the Witcher series. This is one of the series of short stories that comes before the entire series starts. I'm not very far into it. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I like the writing style. The writing style is very good, and I really, really enjoy it. The world seems very interesting so far. I don't know very much about the characters or anything like that, and I'm pretty sure like the actual like real plot of the story, I'm gonna have to wait till like the first actual book rather than the first 2 series of short stories. But so far I'm enjoying it. This does remind me a little bit of Supernatural, like the early seasons, the TV show, where like they're hunting monsters and stuff like that. That's basically what's happening in here, except they're not 2 brothers, it's just the Witcher. But definitely enjoying it. Last night, I did make a lot of progress on An Unkindness of Magicians. I am not quite that done. I am nearly done now, only about 100 or so pages left. I'm really enjoying it. It's leading up to a part that is really good. I'm really excited for the part that it's leading up to. So I want to take a few minutes this morning, because I have a little time before I go to work, and continue on with this one, because so far I'm really, really enjoying it. I do think that I might have liked this book more if I wasn't rereading The Night Circus at the same time, because they have very similar atmospheres, but the imagery is very different. The Night Circus imagery is extremely beautiful, and the writing is just so well done that it's really hard to detach myself from that story. And the writing in this one is not as beautiful. I don't enjoy some of the stylistic choices that the author is making, so that's kind of annoying me. But like plot-wise, very, very interesting, and I really like this world. Very interesting world, and I'm excited to see where this one's going, because it's getting to a good part, a really, really good part, so I'm really excited for it. It's Tuesday, August 6th. This morning I finished An Unkindness of Magicians by Cat Howard. I'm having difficulty deciding what I'm going to rate it. It's either a 3.5 star or a 4 star. One thing about this book is I really enjoyed the plot and the idea of this book. Like, the idea of this book is brilliant. I really love the idea of this book. I didn't really enjoy the execution of it. There was so much plot packed into this that there weren't very many details given, and I really did not enjoy the author's writing style. Because one thing I really want from an author, especially this type of book that is so very, like, it's like an atmospheric magic book, right? But I like very specific details, things that you could just like really picture as they're happening. But I felt like the details in this book were very vague and generalized, so I couldn't really picture what was going on. But the ideas of what was happening, I understood what the author wanted us to picture, even if the words didn't actually make us picture them. And it was very good. Like, plot-wise, I would give this book like a 5 star plot-wise. As world building, I would give it like 4.5 star. Writing style, though, I would give it like a 2 star because I really didn't enjoy the writing style. Like, it wasn't horrible, but it just didn't jive with me at all. And I didn't care that much about the characters. Like, they grew on me towards the end, right? But characters always grow on you towards the end. But I feel like I didn't get to know the characters that well in this book. So I'm having a little difficulty deciding what I'm going to rate it because of that. I'm probably gonna stick with 3.5 stars. Because even though I did really enjoy this book, and I generally try to give any book that I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed this one, at least a 4 star and above, there was enough about this book that annoyed me that I don't think I can give it the 4 stars. I did really enjoy this book. If you like plot-driven books, like highly plot-driven books, and you don't care about writing style or anything like that, then you could potentially really, really love this book. Also, could be a book for people who wanted to like The Night Circus but didn't like the plot in The Night Circus. Probably would like this book because it has a similar sort of situation and idea, except this one is way more plot driven, while The Night Circus is a lot more like world building and beautiful writing and all of that, which makes it amazing. And I love that about The Night Circus. But this one didn't quite work for me because the world's building was there, but I didn't get the details of it that I wanted. I didn't get to feel like I was in that world. I just got to like look through a window, basically, is what it felt like. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this book. I don't really have very much time. I'm thinking about doing a full review on this one though. So if you want to see that, please let me know down in the comments. So it's Thursday, August 8th. I have a lot to update you guys on because it's been like more than 24 hours since I last talked to you guys. The Witcher, The Last Wish, which is introducing The Witcher. So this is the first like set of short stories in the Witcher series. I'm actually really enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I think part of the reason why I wasn't too keen on this first book, even though like the series in general I'm really interested in, was because it was a series of short stories and not like an actual full novel. It doesn't really bother me. I feel like this would make a really good TV show. I realize it is going to be a TV show now. The way this first book is structured, it just feels similar to the way Supernatural is structured, where Supernatural, when it first started out, was very much just going and hunting down monsters and all of that, and it grew into something more where it has longer plot lines and stuff like that rather than like the one episode plot lines. So I feel like the Witcher series could potentially be similar to that. Hopefully a little bit better, because I do like Supernatural, the TV show, but not that much. I love the writing in this book. Like, I love the writing. It's really, really well done. So I'm definitely really excited for the series as a whole. I'm almost done with this first one. So I'm really close to the end, right there. But definitely really enjoying this more than I was expecting to. I might finish this one today. I'm listening to the audiobook of it, and the audiobook of this is also really good. So yes, I'll definitely have time for that today. It's only like 2 hours left or something like that. So I'm excited for the end here. Tuesday night, I think I tried to pick up The Last Samsara, and I had a lot of difficulty with it. I think part of it is I started reading this like an entire week ago. The story really hasn't stuck with me while I like put this one on pause and like tried to finish some of the other books that I had open at the time, because I just had way too many books open at once. So I'm having a little difficulty with this one just because I'm not as, I guess, not as invested in the world and the story as I was with some of the other ones. I'm still gonna try and get into this one today, but I have a few other things that I want to do instead. I got my first arc from NetGalley, and I'm super excited for it because it's The Bone Ships by RJ Barker, and I'm super excited about it. I started it yesterday, and so far I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to talk too much about it here because it doesn't come out till September 24th, which is like a month away or something like that. More than a month away. So I'll definitely talk more about it closer to the release date. But so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm definitely really excited for it. So that's all I got for you guys right now, and I will check in with you guys later. That I had to do today. I had a lot of errands to run, so I did a bunch of stuff today. Most of the stuff I had to do was kind of mindless, so I spent the entire day pretty much listening to audiobooks. So I ended up listening to quite a bit. The audiobook that I had this morning was The Last Wish, which, like I said, there was only like an hour or two left in it, and I finished it pretty quickly. I really enjoyed this. I talked about it this morning, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but I really liked the last story especially, which was called The Last Wish. The story name was the name of the book, so I'm pretty excited to continue on. The next book in it is Sort of Destiny, I think is what it's called, which is also a series of short stories. I'm hoping to get through that pretty quickly so that I could start like the main like novels of the stories. Even so, I'm enjoying this world. I'm enjoying this writing, especially. I really love the writing, and we'll see if The Witcher grows on me, because right now he's not much of a character, but like I said, it's a series of short stories. There's not a whole lot of room for character development in it in a way that it would be more room in a novel, so I'm excited to see where that finally goes. But enjoyed this. Definitely enjoyed this. Ended up giving it 4 stars. So after that, I finished The Last Wish. I had to pick up another audiobook, and I didn't have time to really think very much about it, so I just picked up the next one in my queue, which happened to be Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King. This has been on my TBR for over a year now, and I ended up finishing it. It was only like a 6-hour audiobook or something like that. It's less than 300 pages. It is so good. Oh my gosh. This one like took my breath away. I didn't expect to be as invested in this story as I was, because one, it's a YA contemporary, which I don't read often. It's not a romantic contemporary, which I read more often than other YA contemporaries. And I just really enjoyed it. It was so good. It's about a boy named Lucky Linderman who is being bullied at school, and he also recently lost his grandmother, who was basically the person who raised him, the person who looked out for him. His parents are a little bit absentee, so he doesn't have the support that he would want from the adult figures in his life. So it's kind of him learning to deal with that and realizing that, you know, everyone has things that haunt them. There's also a really big aspect where his grandfather has gone missing in the Vietnam War, and he actually has these dreams where he's with his grandfather and he's trying to save his grandfather, basically. There's a teensy bit of a magical realism aspect to it, specifically having to do with his grandfather. And I really enjoyed every part of this book. It was so good. It did things that I wasn't expecting it to do, and it was just a deeply emotional book in less than 300 pages, and I absolutely loved it. And lastly, I still had tons of time in which to listen to audiobooks, so I picked up a third audiobook after I finished that one. Yes, I know, I was crazy productive today. I started Cat's Cradle by Vonnegut, which is my classic for the month. I haven't gotten very far into it. So far, I'm not much of a fan of the audiobook. The main character of this story is trying to write about the atomic bomb, specifically the day that it was dropped, and what the people were doing at the time. So it's about the people side of the atomic bombs. So should be interesting. We'll see how this goes though, because as of right now, I'm a little iffy on this one. So I want to get into some physical reading, or actually ebook reading, because I'm going to get to The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, which I'm pretty excited for. Last night I read about 40 pages, so I'm hoping to get further into it today because it seems to have a really, really interesting world, and I'm excited to see more of it. It's Friday, August 9th, and this morning I finished Cradle by Vonnegut. I really enjoyed this book more than I was expecting to from the beginning. I really, really liked the ending. The ending was incredibly interesting to me, and it was very different than what I was expecting at the beginning. So definitely really enjoyed this. I liked some of the themes that this one explored, so I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It's about halfway through the day. It's afternoon now, and I have a lot of work to do that I'll be listening to audiobooks the entire time. I'm kind of running out of audiobooks though, so I didn't have any that I had already borrowed that were on my TBR for this month, so I decided to pick up another one that I just happened to have in my queue, and I picked up The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. So this is one of the books that's on my book buying ban challenge, which I had planned to read next month, but I decided to pick it up early because I'm kind of running out of audiobooks. I have a couple more audiobooks that are on my TBR, but I just haven't borrowed them from the library yet. They're available, but since this one I had already borrowed, I decided to just pick it up because one, it's really thick, so it'll take me a while to get through, so I won't be finishing a book like so quickly since I'm going to be listening to this one pretty much all day today. When I first picked up this audiobook, it was interesting because my immediate attention was, I know this audiobook narrator, who is it? And I really, really liked the audiobook narrator. And then I looked, and it's Michael Kramer. For those of you who don't know, I've been rereading the Wheel of Time series on audio, and Michael Kramer is one of the audiobook narrators. The Wheel of Time series has 2, and I'm currently on the 3rd audiobook, The Dragon Reborn, which I returned to after I finished the Night Circus this week. Michael Kramer is not my favorite narrator in the Wheel of Time series. I really, really like Kate Redding, but like Michael Kramer compared to Kate Redding is a little stiff. In The Grace of Kings, he's so good. I really, really like him in The Grace of Kings. So I'm hoping like he was just younger back then and was not as good as narrating back at the beginning of the Wheel of Time series, and that he'll get better as it goes through. So yes, so far in The Grace of Kings, which came out much more recently, he's fantastic, and I really like him as a narrator, like really, really like him. Also, this is really interesting so far. I'm definitely very into this world so far. I don't really know where the plot is going, but I have like a little bit of an inkling, which I like. It's like tropes that I really enjoy. So we'll see if it goes in that direction. If it doesn't, then whatever, it's fine. So far, I'm enjoying this. Great writing, great audiobook narrator, and definitely a very interesting world that I'm excited to just like dive deep into. I had been a little iffy about starting that one just because I'm in the middle of a bunch of other books, but I don't have time to read physical books today. I will have a little bit of time later before I go to sleep, but until then, I don't have any time, and I don't have the audiobooks for the physical books that I'm currently reading, so I can't just like switch over to those audiobooks, which is what I generally like doing. So yeah, hopefully later today I'll get some time to pick up some physical books because I have 2 physical books and 1 ebook that I really need to get back to. It's Sunday, August 11th. I didn't get a whole lot of reading done yesterday, but I didn't have time to check in with you guys. I did get a lot of reading done on Friday, particularly The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This one is interesting because I was listening to the audiobook for this one, and the first half of this book is extremely difficult to get into. Like, it reminded me of the very beginning of Gardens of the Moon, where basically you're just jumping from character to character to character, and you don't get enough of attachment to one character, and then it just moves to another one. So about halfway through it, I started getting attachments to certain characters, and you would have this short plot line, and as soon as I finally get attached to a character or something that's going on, it would jump to a different character at a different time period. So I was having trouble with that, and then about halfway through it, because I'm like almost done with it now. I'm about somewhere around here. I don't actually know exactly where in the book, but I only have like 3 or 4 hours left in the audiobook. Like at the halfway point about, it switches to 2 specific characters. One of them I really like, the other one I never really liked very much, though I did like their friendship. I don't know. All the characters are just disappointing me, and they're not developed to the point where I can understand why they make the stupid decisions that they make. That's kind of where I'm at with this book. Also, there's not really a whole lot of fantasy. I haven't seen any sort of magic. I mean, there's one character with 2 pupils, which is interesting, but I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for that, but as of right now, I don't know what it is, and it doesn't seem to be getting there very quickly. It also has some weird metaphors with flowers. I mean, it's called the Dandelion Dynasty, and I understand like the symbolism there, which is interesting, but at the same time, it feels a little cheesy to me at sometimes, which is not really how you want your fantasy books. You don't really want it to be cheesy. Also, the one character that I really liked, Gia, who's like one of the first female characters that you're introduced to, and she's very interesting, really disappoints me. Like, not necessarily what she does, but more of what she doesn't do, if that makes sense. So yeah, that really kind of annoys me also. I don't know how I'm gonna end up rating this book, but as of right now, it's not one of my favorites, even though I really wanted it to be. Like, I really wanted it to be. I have the second book in this series, and I don't know if I'm gonna read it. As of right now, I don't know that I will. So yeah, that makes me sad because I really wanted to like Ken Liu as an author. Maybe I have to try one of his other books, or maybe the ending of this book will be just so good that I'm ready to read the next one. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But as of right now, like, I'm just honestly not that into it. I also did make a bit of progress with Gardens of the Moon. I'm enjoying this one more and more. So like, there's a section over here, it's like book 2. So I'm in like the second section of the story. So I'm right there where that dollar is. It's like, it's a different section. And I think part of it, like, it starts out from I don't think it starts out, but there is one section that is from the perspective of a thief. And I don't know if it was just me just having flashbacks to the lives of Locke Lamora, that I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But like, I started really, really enjoying this one more than I was expecting to. So definitely really excited for this one. Also, the world, like I said, really intrigues me about this. I am reading it really slow, but with how much I like the current character that it's on, I might speed up a little bit. We'll see. But definitely really enjoying this so far. I don't have a whole lot of updates for you guys, but it is the end of the week, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off from this vlog. I did read a lot of books this week, so it's not like I didn't read that much. I just feel weird because I didn't finish Gardens of the Moon yet, even though I've been reading it for like 6 weeks now. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed watching it. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments. I would love to discuss it with you guys. I post videos frequently on this channel, so consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!